When the village argued about land, debt, or death, they sent for Kivuli. He listened. He measured words like grain. He spoke once and ended quarrels. Yet his hut leaked. His children wore patched clothes. His plate was often empty. "How can the cleverest man be the poorest?" they whispered. Kivuli only smiled, as if the answer itself was dangerous. And then the chief came knocking, at night, with an offer no poor man should refuse.
Welcome to KollyGlyn, where the stories survive. Folk tales, ancient worlds, keeping history alive. From the past to the now, hear the echoes ring. Every story has power.
Chief Matemi arrived with guards and a goat tied in rope payment before words. He praised Kivuli's mind, his foresight, his silence. Then he asked him to help shift land boundaries quietly. "Only ink," the chief said, "no blood." Kivuli saw 3 futures at once, all of them ugly. He declined politely. The chief's smile vanished. "Think carefully," he warned. Kivuli did, and that frightened the chief. The next market day, Kivuli's name changed shape. People stopped greeting him. A debt he never owed appeared. His fishing rights were questioned. Cleverness had become suspicion. His wife asked the question he feared most. Did we choose hunger? Kivuli had no easy answer, only a promise he could not yet explain. That night, his goat was stolen. And the message was clear. Kivuli kept a small notebook hidden under ash. Not numbers patterns. Who gained land after funerals? Who grew rich after droughts? Who testified, then prospered? He knew wealth here was not built. It was taken. Each page confirmed it. If he spoke, he would be dead. If he joined, he would be rich. If he stayed silent, he would stay poor. A knock came again. This time, from the widow. The widow Nyota asked why her land shrank after her husband's burial. Kivuli traced the ink. He found the thief. But exposing him would make Nyota unsafe. "Can you fix it?" she begged. Kivuli could, but only by lying. He told her the truth instead. She left crying. The next morning, rumors said Kivuli hated widows, and someone burned his crops. Kivuli's son, Bako, asked why other children ate sugar. Kivuli answered honestly, because their parents said yes when they should have said no. Bako didn't understand, but he remembered. At school, the teacher mocked Kivuli's poverty. "Brains don't fill stomachs," he said. Bako raised his hand. "They do if you sell them." The class laughed. The teacher didn't. That evening, the teacher visited. He admired Kivuli's son, then suggested altering exam results for a fee. "Think of the future," he urged. Kivuli thought of the village. He refused. The next term, Bako failed mysteriously. At home, Kivuli stared at the wall, wondering, how much suffering could virtue demand? A businessman arrived to buy communal land cheaply. He needed justification. Kivuli's words could provide it. "Just explain the law," they said. The law, twisted, would rob hundreds. Kivuli stayed silent at the meeting. The land was sold anyway using a lie he refused to tell. The village blamed him. That night, his roof collapsed in rain, and no one came to help. Only Asha, the potter, brought food. She asked nothing. "You could be rich," she said softly. "I know," Kivuli replied. She studied him. "You're afraid?" "No," he said. "I'm unwilling." That difference mattered. Outside, men sharpened knives, not for war, but for whispers. Asha left quickly. Someone had followed her. Asha returned at dawn, shaken. "They're planning to frame you," she whispered. "A missing cow. Your name?" Kivuli nodded. He had already calculated this path. He gathered his notebook. If accused, he could destroy many. But destruction would also feed him. That night, drums summoned the village. The cow was found. Near his hut, the elders asked questions they didn't want answered. Kivuli spoke carefully. He proved innocence without naming guilt. The crowd grumbled. The chief leaned forward. "You protect thieves," he accused. "No," Kivuli said. "I protect the future." That answer angered everyone. The verdict was delayed, which was worse than guilt. Bako fell sick. Medicine required money. The healer offered credit if Kivuli would sign a statement favoring the chief. One paper, one signature. Kivuli's hand trembled. Bako coughed blood. Time pressed harder than hunger ever had. Kivuli asked for the night. The healer agreed, smiling. Kivuli watched his son breathe. He opened the notebook. With one confession, he could be rich by morning. With silence, he might bury his child. He burned 3 pages. Not the worst ones. At dawn, he walked to the river and made his choice. Kivuli returned empty-handed. No signature. The healer turned away. Bako survived anyway through fever and chance. The village called it luck. The chief called it defiance. Kivuli called it proof. That life did not always reward compromise, but it punished it often. The chief summoned soldiers. They dragged Kivuli before sunrise, accused of inciting unrest. The notebook was found. Not burned enough. The chief smiled. "Now you will speak." Kivuli looked at the elders, at the people he had protected, and said nothing. The cell door closed. Others confessed for less. Kivuli waited. The chief visited with wine. "Name names. You'll leave rich." Kivuli replied, "You already know them." The chief struck him. "Then why keep quiet?" Kivuli smiled through blood. "Because knowing isn't owning." That answer spread. Even the guards listened. People whispered that Kivuli chose prison, that he could destroy everyone but didn't. Fear turned into curiosity, curiosity into shame. The widow, Nyota, returned to the elders. Then others followed. Questions multiplied. The chief felt power slipping and made a mistake. He ordered a public confession. Instead, Kivuli asked one question aloud. "Who here is rich and clean?" Silence roared. Faces looked away. The chief shouted for guards, but the crowd didn't move. For the first time, wealth looked small. Records emerged. Testimonies followed. Not from Kivuli, but inspired by him. The chief fled. His houses were seized. Gold changed hands again. Kivuli was released. The village waited for him to claim reward. He didn't. Kivuli went back to his leaking hut. No titles. No land. People were confused. "You earned this," they insisted. Kivuli replied, "I earned my sleep." That answer unsettled them, because it cost nothing and everything. Children began visiting him, asking why he stayed poor. He taught them patterns, not rules. Some parents pulled their children away. Others listened. Wealth slowly changed shape, but Kivuli's hut remained small. Intentionally, new leaders rose cleaner, but tempted. They offered Kivuli a council seat. He declined. "You need someone outside the room," he said. They laughed until they realized he was right. Power needed a witness who refused it. Bako grew cleverer than his father. He was offered scholarships abroad. "Will I become like them?" he asked. Kivuli answered, "Only if you forget the price." Bako left anyway. Kivuli watched him go. Unsure if poverty had taught enough, Asha prospered honestly. Her pots sold far. She offered marriage again. Kivuli agreed this time. Not for comfort, for companionship. Their home stayed simple, by design. Slow change came. Not rich, but fairer. Some hated Kivuli for it. Others revered him. He refused both. "Don't make me an excuse," he warned. "Make better choices instead." Years later, a regional governor came, offered Kivuli wealth to write policy. "Clean money," he promised. Kivuli read the fine print. Exploitation just farther away. He declined again. The governor left angry. History repeated. A traveler asked why Kivuli never rose. A child answered first. He knows how wealth is made here. How? The traveler asked. By hurting someone you'll never see. Kivuli smiled. That was the lesson. Kivuli finished his notebook, not with names, but with a sentence. Poverty chosen is freedom. Wealth stolen is a prison. He buried it, for someone else to find. Kivuli died quietly. No money, no estate. The village argued over his worth, until Bako returned. With the notebook, Bako read the patterns aloud. Names, dates, truth. Not to punish, to remember. Some cried, some denied, but no one laughed. Bako revealed the final truth. Kivuli had been offered wealth every year. He refused every time, not once out of pride, but strategy. He was never poor by failure. He was poor by choice. The village built no statue. Instead, they changed rules. Quietly. That was Kivuli's way. Would you choose hunger over corruption? Would you protect truth if it cost comfort? Kivuli did, and paid fully. The cleverest man stayed poor, because wealth demanded pieces of his soul. He knew the price of everything, and refused to sell himself. Would you have made the same choice? Is poverty with integrity wiser than wealth with guilt? Comment, debate, share.
This is KollyGlyn, where the voices remain from forgotten.
The past is talking. Are you listening? KollyGlyn.